Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video will be focused on some of the problems or some of the issues you may encounter after installing Palladium for the very first time. Okay, I'll be taking you through some of those problems. So after you install Palladium, it should create a Palladium icon on your desktop over there. When you double click on your icon, sometimes it gives you the screen that you see in front of us right now. Okay, so the reason for that is because your workstation is not registered at this particular moment, right? So if you are doing this for the first time, it will definitely ask you to register your workstation or to register the machine that you're working on for Palladium. All right. There are a couple of registrations you can, or a couple of ways to register your machine. The first option we see over there is the demonstration mode. If you use the demonstration mode, Palladium will go ahead and allow you to go work through it, but give you a limited number of transactions to work on it. And then if you are registering your company for the very first time, you will have to use the second option over there that says first time registration. And this option here will ask you, if I click on it over there and say continue, you will see that it requests me to put in my company details so that our database can have those details. And then of course, when we invoice you, you will have your product key on the invoice, and you can always get your product key from our support department. All right, so you will fill in those details over there. You should have all the details, and once you filled up everything there, this active button or activate button will activate, and then once you click on it, it will register your Palladium. Okay, and then the other part will be for when you need to or already have registered it, and this is a machine that has maybe lost its registration, or a machine that what you will need on it is to capture the registration and password. Okay, so this is where you go on the software activation only. If I go to software activation only and click on OK, you will see that it doesn't require the company details because that must have already been done. All you will need to capture is the product key and the password, right? Which is what we are going to do today, because my machine, let me say the product key that I'm going to use is for my company, and it has already been registered. I've gone ahead and put in my details in there, the product key and the activation password. And you'll notice that after I put in my details over there, the activate button activates down there, as I said before, and then you can click on activate. Once you do that, you'll see it will give you this window. If the product key is wrong or the password is wrong, it will tell you that there was an error in activation. Some of the details that you've captured are not correct. So you might need to go back to your system administrator to give you the right details, or call into our support line to give you the correct details there. Okay, once that is done, you can click on OK, and it will allow you to go forward into Palladium. So that is one of the issues that you encounter after installing Palladium for the very first time. If it is not registered, it will ask you to register, and that's how you'll go ahead by registering it. Okay, if it's a new registration, of course, it will ask you to put in the company details. If it is a registration that already exists with us, it is going to require you to put in the registration code and activation password, as you've seen. All right. Now, the other issue or the other problem that is encountered is at times after you register, it does not connect directly to the databases or to the server. It fails to connect, or it wants you to specify the connection details. All right, you will see a screen like this. Okay, of course, it will not have as many server connections or server names as I do over here. This is just for my personal use. Yours will have possibly only one and it will say connection one, right? And when it says connection one, when you double click on it, it will look something similar to that. All right, so what this means is the connection details have not been configured, so the machine is unable to connect to your server. Right. If you are using a server on a network, you will have to specify the details of that server on your machine so that it can communicate with the Palladium server that is on the Palladium database that is on the server. And if you're using a standalone machine, you're going to have to specify the details of that standalone machine or the local machine that you're working on so that it can communicate with the Palladium database that is there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show you both situations. Okay, so if you are using a standalone, you can come over here and make sure that it says just local, and over here it says Palladium installed SQL Server. If you go ahead and say okay, it will connect or it will create the connection over there, and when you activate it and say okay, it will connect and take you to your databases. All right, I'm gonna go back to that same connection. Okay, other than that, if you are using um, a remote connection or a network connection, you can come over here and say remote. You'll see that down here it will activate where it says server name, and then once it activates that, that's where you're going to put the details of your server. All right, so you can either put the IP address and the instance name, or put in the computer name or the server name and the instance name. Of course, the details here, if you do not know somebody that is in IT or that assists in your IT, would be able to help you with this, of course. And if you do not have that as well, some of us, some of our support consultants will be able to assist you with that as well. But these are the details of your local server, if it is a local server. Um, of your network server, or of your of a hosted remote server, a cloud server, for example. Right. So this is where you'll specify the details. I'm going to go ahead and specify mine so that you can see how that is done. All right, as you can see now, I've specified my server name. This is the machine that I want to connect to. So the name of the machine is called Raymond S, and the instance, the SQL instance that I'm connecting to is over here, separated by a backslash. All right, these details are what you need to put in when you need to connect. Of course, in your case, it will not be Raymond S, it will be the name of the server or the name of the standalone machine that you are working on. Right. And then moving on here where it says server login details, make sure that you are under where it says user installed SQL server. Right. And then here, this is where you're going to put in the SQL connection or SQL login details. All right, so you will put in the username over there. The default username, of course, it's SA. You need to know the SA password thereafter. Right, SA just refers to system administrator. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my password in there. All right, after that is done, I can click on OK, activate that connection and say OK. You'll see that it takes me to this window over here. Right, so once that is done, it will automatically go to that instance. It will communicate with the databases that are there, and you will now from here be able to log into a database, a particular database that you want to work in and work on Palladium. Okay, so that is just one of the issues that you will experience if you are installing it for the first time on a new workstation. All right. Another issue that you may encounter is when opening Palladium for the first time, it just opens the window and then crashes. On my side, it will not do that because I've got everything installed. But usually when you try to open, It'll give you this screen here, shows you that it's loading, but doesn't go any further, and then just crashes or just closes, almost like nothing is happening. Or when you're at this stage and try to log into a database, it just closes, almost like nothing is happening. What that means is one of the prerequisite software has not been installed, which is Crystal Reports. You need to install Crystal Reports runtime for you to be able to open Palladium if it gives you that. Of course, that is covered in the video for installation. If you need that, you can get that on our YouTube channel as well, and then see how to get the uh, Crystal Reports runtime, which is one of the prerequisite softwares. Okay, once that is installed, you should be able to open up Palladium and it will take you to this screen without any issues. Okay, thank you so much for being part of this. This will wrap up today's video. I hope it is helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps you with all or with troubleshooting the errors you get after installing Palladium. Thank you so much. Bye bye.